Good afternoon. It is 3 PM Eastern time and I'm just going to recap my trading for today. I took 2 trades and was never in any drawdown and it worked pretty successfully. So I'm going to go through those trades, but first I'm going to start off with the hourly chart, which I went through in the pre-market video, and that's where I got my levels from, and that's where we're going to start. So on my screen we've got the hourly ES chart, and we had 2 levels we was really watching today. The first level was coming down to this level here around 52.02 for a bounce, kind of watching the trend line bounce, and then we was also watching this pivot area of confidence as well, and high volume as well up in this area, and I was watching 52.32 roughly, this area, and I had 2 plays for this area. My first one was going to be for a reject with confirmation, or I was looking for a break and retest with confirmation, and I took both trades, and the retest was the pre-market retest of the pre-market high and potentially this pivot as well. So that's kind of why I liked it, and it was to continue the trend. As you can see, this is the hourly chart we're in. It's still in an uptrend, although we are seeing a little tiny bit of it curving around. As you can see, a bit of sign of weakness, higher volume coming in. Normally see higher volume at the end of a trend as well. So that's kind of how we're looking. So we got FOMC this week as well, so things may be a little bit slow going into Wednesday. But let's go into my trades. So I'm going to go to my Ninja Trader platform. This is what I use to trade ES and MES futures from. I usually trade MES. And so I have a 5-minute chart, I have the 2-minute chart which I use for confirmations, I've got a daily chart, and I have the hourly chart. And on my other screen I have my order flow, and it's the order flow which I use today to get in and out of my trades, which I'm going to go into right now. Okay, so go back to the beginning of the day. Let's expand this a bit. So here we're looking at the opening candle, 9:30. So we've got this opening candle here at 9:30, and market pushed up, and then we put in some, look like a bit of a top into this area here of draw it again, into this area of extra resistance. And even though I was looking for a rejection up at 52.32, so this is the area here, this is the 32 line, so let's draw that in. So that's the area I was watching, that's the area I played today. So I look for a rejection of this area, and you can see it rejected and with confirmation, but I was seeing something different. I'm just going to flick over to my order flow screen, and if we go back to 9:30, what I was seeing was, even though the market was selling off, let's just draw it on, we were looking at the bottom right screen, so the market was selling off. So let's start again. So the market was going, kind of pushing up a bit when we opened, and the order flow is kind of going sideways, so kind of wasn't quite convinced. And then what I did see was, as the market started to go sideways, the cumulative delta, which is the difference between the aggressive buyers and the aggressive sellers in each candle, this is a 2-minute chart, was just increasing, and that is the opposite to what the price was doing. So we're seeing a divergence there, and I use divergence to see where there's potential reversals in the market. But let's just go back to 9:30 on here. So 9:30, this is the open, we came in, and even though it was looking very toppy, we had some big areas we looked like absorption. So we had these big numbers coming in, but it was the opening candle, open a few minutes, I kind of ignore it. And we had big numbers up here as well, we had big numbers here, big numbers here, and I was trying to just wait for confirmation before I was going to go short, because it could potentially have gone long. And I'm just going to scroll to the next few candles. And it wasn't until we got to here, what I was looking at was the buyers in the order flow, and we were the buyers. There was no follow through. We had lots of buyers here, but just only 32 up here, aggressive buyers. The same here, just 26. Same here, 37. And we only had 44, so not quite single digit buyers. I'm looking for like 10 or 12 or something like that. And I did see this come in as well. We saw a bit of buying, and still was watching the price come down with the divergence going up. And I thought I'll take a single contract, a 1/3 contract, so 1/3 the size, and I went short. I'm just looking where my entry was. It was the breakdown of this area. Let's draw it back in again. So I was short as it broke down below here, and saw this red candle come in, and it broke down. We saw aggressive selling, and it all looked good, but obviously the divergence, you can see down here, the divergence was still increasing while the price is going down. So this is only going to be a scalp. So I was waiting for a point to get out of this trade, and I was watching for big buyers to come back in at the bottom, and you can see that around here. There's some big buyers there. We had some big buyers around that area. We had these 3 point of controls, these yellow. These are the highest volume in every candle. The yellow mark shows you where the highest volume is. And I saw 3 in a row here, and that kind of acts as resistance a little bit. So I meant support. And so I was looking to get out, and I was looking really to finding out, because I was coming into the break and retest of the pre-market low. And as it came up, when I saw these big numbers here, that was my out. So I exit at 52.26, got in at 32. So it's a decent move, a little bit of a scalp, and I then went long at this point, which I'm going to flick back to my candlestick chart in a second. So I was long here. I was certain there's no more. I wasn't 100% certain, but I was looking only at the divergence here, and it's still going up. And as soon as we saw the price correspond to the divergence, that's when I went long. So I got long on the break of that 2-minute candle, and I got out was because we were putting in no more lower lows on the 2-minute candles. So I used that as my out, and I used that as my entry, and my stop was always going to be below there. It pulled back a little tiny bit, which I'm going to go into on my 5-minute chart now. So I'm flicking back to my main screen. Okay, so this is back to the 5-minute screen, and you can see that was my entry there. Let's just flick that to a arrow. So this is where I got in. So I used confirmation, this top and tail candle, and I saw it come down. As soon as I was hoping it would come down to the VWAP, but I was also watching the pre-market level, this level here. And so as it came down, I saw the big numbers we just showed you, and I took my out. My out was there, and that was it. So I reversed. So I took a reversal, then got in on the break of this 5-minute candle, and we had a little bit, it pulled back a bit, and it just whipped me out on my 10-tick stop. So when I get into a trade, I have an algorithm set up on NinjaTrader that sets me up as, so that's my entry there, and I have a 10-tick stop, a 20-tick stop, and a 25-tick stop. Then I have a 30-tick target, a 50-tick target, and a 100-tick target, which is my runner. And so you can see I was just whipped out there, but the moment I got whipped out, I was waiting for a re-entry, and my re-entry was just back up here again. So where was it? You can't really see it. It's just there. I got back in again. No, sorry, wrong one. It was there. It's hidden behind that yellow arrow. That's my entry there. So my plan is, if I get whipped out on the 10-tick target, 10-tick stop, I then look to get back in again to regain that 1/3 back, and then I put my stop back as well. Because sometimes, originally I was trading in February and March, a lot of March, I was trading with a tighter 10-tick stop for all my contracts, but I was taking too many trades. I was getting in and out of trades too often. So now this means I do protect the leg. So if it keeps coming down, then that first leg's out, and I only stop out then at the full stop for both the 20 and the 25 tick. But the idea, if it comes down, whips me out like it did today, and comes back up again, then I'll happily get back in, and I'll keep my stop then at the original location. Sometimes I'll move it to break even as soon as I can. So that worked really well, and so that's my entry. My entry was there. I hit my 3R target, which is took a new high. I hit my 5R target, and then I held because I was waiting for it to come back down. I was hoping it would have just put in another lower high and then put in a new high, but it didn't. It came down, so I originally stopped out just there, and that was my entry area. So it was a totally risk-free trade. As soon as I hit 3R, I have my NinjaTrader and strategy set to break even at 30 ticks. So I've got a stop loss of 10, 20, 25 and my profit of 30, 50 and 100 ticks. And I always go to break even when I hit the 3R mark. So as soon as I hit that, it was a risk-free trade and I didn't have to do anything to manage it. I'll be honest, I was looking for an ad, and I really would have liked it to come back down and then put in a new move up, and I was going to try and get back in if I could, but that didn't happen. But overall, decent day. One thing I wish I could have done, maybe on hindsight, I saw this top come in, and I did see on the order flow that it was looking pretty toppy. Let me just flick back over to that screen again. So this is the order flow screen, and so this is what I was still in the trade in, and you can see quite clearly we were kind of coming into a top because we had these big numbers there, buying. So this is absorption, more absorption there, kind of absorption, and then we had always absorption up there. And I probably should have trailed the 5-minute candle and got out on the 5-minute, and that out would have been around about here, or the break of that candle. But you know, I was in it to get the 10R gain. I've been getting quite a lot of 10Rs. I think I got a 22R gain last week just by holding that last 1/3. And today was the day when it came back and tagged me out. And it's kind of, the market's hovering around that area, hasn't really recovered. So let's just go back to the main screen. So back on the main screen, you can see the market is kind of still in the same area. That's my out there. We haven't really moved anywhere. So that's it. Didn't come that down to my area. I was looking for a potential long, and I'm not going to trade anymore. Hence why I'm doing my video. Just kind of is my finished my day's trading, and I'm now doing my end of day recap. And I keep forgetting, because the time zone difference in the US is down to 4 hours at the moment. The market closes in 1 hour, which usually closes in 2 hours for me. So early night, early day for me. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching.